and welcome to Dark Sayings Live, Midnight Mystery Sessions, Whispers from the Abyss. I'm Pete, your humble master of mysteries and antiquary of the arcane, inviting you to cross this threshold into the veiled corners of history and the human spirit. Here at Dark Sayings, with our 32,000-strong community of curious minds, we delve into conspiracies, paranormal phenomenon, extraterrestrial enigmas, occult traditions, religious mysteries, and historical puzzles, always chasing the truth with a spark of wonder. Tonight, the Abyss stares back as we immerse ourselves in 5 harrowing tales that have echoed through time. Feel the chill of a wolfish shadow on a fog-shrouded Wisconsin road, the guttural snarls echoing in a boy's bedroom during a desperate rite, the searing heat of a diamond-shaped craft blotting out the Texas stars. We'll witness the enigmatic feats of a wandering sage and a hunt for the vanished resting place of a conqueror whose empire spanned the known world. For the next 45 minutes, we'll live these stories as if we were there. The sweat on your brow, the pulse in your veins, followed by a 10-minute Q&A to unpack what lingers. So dim the lights, settle in, and let's heed the whispers from the abyss. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and step closer. The night's revelation awaits. All right, we got 5 topics, dramatic tellings of dramatic tales tonight. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all being here. It has been a minute. Another solid week has passed by. And I'll tell you what, folks, I got to say I'm very proud. I've got proud news to deliver to all of you. Now, it appears that for the first time in years, I'm telling you years, because you know I've been slacking for a long time. We just started buckling down again recently. For the first time in years, I have had a month where I've achieved over 10,000 views. Incredible. I haven't seen it happen. I mean, it's been like a long time. So I want to thank everybody who's been checking out the shorts I've been putting up every day, supporting the short form videos that I've managed to get one up. I've got 2 more recorded, and I'm hoping to get them edited tomorrow. Likewise, joining for the live streams. I just appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm seeing a lot of new faces coming around, and it is awesome. So we are back on track. I see nothing but growth going on in the future. More eyes on this nonsense that I do, more stories to tell, and I just appreciate you all being along for the ride. I thank you so very much. So first, let me give a shout out to our live chat moderator, Miss Tina Tomazuski. Tina been with the channel for a very long time. A lot of you in the chat, I see a lot of you guys have been hanging out for quite a while, many years. See a lot of familiar faces coming around I ain't seen in a very long time. So I'm happy to see you guys giving me another chance after a little some speed bumps, you know. But we're back. We're back and we're rocking. I got 5 great tales for you tonight. You know, I've been kind of reluctant to bang out the hits right away, but you know, we've been rocking with these streams every Saturday night so far, and I don't want to let you down. I'm delivering a little bit of the some of the obscure. We go for some obscure stuff. We also go for some of the big timers too. You know, you want to mix it up a little bit, provide a nice even keel, if you will. So let's see how we're going to lay it out. Like I said, we're going to do 45 minutes of yammering and stammering through stories and tales. In between, I'll address the chat a little bit here and there. We'll maybe put up some polls, see what you guys think on these topics, and we'll wrap it up with a Q&A at the end of the show here. So like I always say, if you're trying to get my attention, I do have my eyes on the chat. I'm also working on some other screens here too. But at me in any comment you want me to read directly, if you're not like using any kind of special features of the channel, like the stickers and that kind of stuff. So yeah, if you're trying to get my attention, give me an @ in the chat, you know, like at my name, and then it pops up orange for me and I can see it real clearly. So thank you. Yeah. Oh, so Jonocide, RR. I see a couple people here. There's Tina, Mr. Mackey. What's up, Mr. Mackey? Flashback. Thanks for tuning in. Deazad. Got a lot of folks hanging out tonight. A lot of folks just starting to kind of trickle in. But we'll see. We'll see how the numbers crash out at the end of the day, right? Anyway, thank you so much. So we are just about at the 5-minute mark. That means it's time to get into our tales. So we're going to start with the first story of the night. This is a classic from the tale of cryptozoology. There's been many a book, many an interview done on this particular story. But I wanted to really delve into it tonight because I've been a little enamored with the idea of lycanthropy, the werewolf, if you will. And I'll tell you what, speaking of werewolves, I'm taking suggestions. I'm also looking for volunteers. So we'll get a little bit more into that later on in the stream. But I am taking suggestions of what you would like to see happen for Halloween. It's been a long time since I've done any Halloween special. In the past, I used to do like an open mic night thing where I'd kind of invite viewers on with me to chit chat for a little bit. I might be open to doing something like that again, but I don't want it to be just randos that pop into the chat. So if you are interested in something like that and you'd like to participate and appear in the live stream with me on like Halloween evening, shoot me a DM on either, I'd say, Instagram or Twitter. Just shoot me a DM. So I have a way to respond to you, because I can't really respond to we can't arrange it in a YouTube comment. So hit me up on one of the socials and get at me there. I don't really use Facebook very much. I made a horrible mistake of logging into Facebook this week, and I found out which one of my friends are truly ghouls. So it's been a little disappointing. So we're going to stay away from that for a little while. But yeah, hit me up on Twitter or Instagram to let me know if you want to be interested in appearing on a Halloween live stream with me. We'll do like, a little banter, a little chit chat. We'll get to know each other a little bit. Longtime members of the community are definitely invited. New members are also welcome. Just, reach out so I have an idea who you are and we can, arrange things. Anywho, thank you for that. And we'll get to the volunteer thing down at the end. Just kind of looking for a little help in promoting. Maybe if you're active on certain sites, you let me know that, hey, if you're a big time Redditor, maybe you let me know. Hey, I use Reddit a lot. Maybe you can help post some of my stuff over there. If you're still using Facebook, then you're probably over 50. So maybe you can help me out posting on the Facebook stuff, because I try to avoid that platform entirely. But yeah, I mean, also, like I said, hit me up in the DMs. Let me know if you'd like to participate in a Halloween live stream. Move right along. Let's get into the first topic. We're going to talk about the beast of Bray Road, a wolfman, or a phantom of the fields. Now, I want you to imagine it's a crisp autumn night, right? You're in rural Wisconsin. It's the kind of night where the moon hangs low and heavy, casting silver veins across endless cornfields. You're behind the wheel. You're on Bray Road. Tires humming against cracked asphalt. When you catch headlights, and there's a hulking shape crouching by the roadside. It's got matted fur with like dew, and like its eyes burn like coals. This is the beast of Bray Road, a creature that stalked the shadows near Elkhorn since the 1930s, blurring the line between folklore and flesh. Is it a blood and bone terror, or is it a legend of the imagination? Let's prowl into it, where every rustle in the underbush could be your last warning. So you're a night watchman at St. Coletta's School in 1936. Flashlight beams slicing through the darkness toward an ancient Indian burial mound. There it stands, 6 to 7 feet tall, a muscular frame, cloaked in shaggy fur. A wolfish head, low to the ground, pointed ears twitching. Its breath fogs the air with the stench of decay. And as it turns, those glowing red-orange eyes lock onto yours. You freeze, pulse thundering as it growls a guttural, half-warning, half-human, half-beast, vanishing into the night. Now, this encounter will ignite decades of dread, a harbinger of the beast's nocturnal hunts. So fast forward. It's the 80s and the 90s, and you're Lori Endrizzi, driving home after a late shift when the beast lunges from a ditch, claws raking your car door, leaving deep gashes like accusations. Or you're the young woman in 1999, your tires thudding over something solid, only to see it rise on hind legs, jaws clamped on roadkill, before leaping onto your trunk with impossible weight, sliding off in the rain, but etching fear into your bones. Witnesses speak of it scavenging, upright like a man one moment, lopping on all fours the next. Its presence a violation of the ordinary world. Now, shift your gaze to a skeptic's lantern. All right, you're poring over reports with Humane Officer John Fredrickson, whose werewolf file overflows with note cards of sightings, yet yields no tracks beyond mangy paw prints. Could this be a black bear warped by mange, its fur ragged, stanced bipedal in desperation? Or mass hysteria in Walworth County, where satanic rituals by teens twisted shadows into monsters? Cryptozoologists murmur of a dogman or bluff monsters, a Bigfoot kin, while native lore whispers of Wendigo spirits. But as you trace the scratches on metal, the rationale fades. What force bends nature so? Feel the cultural shiver. You're flipping through Linda Godfrey's pages, her initial skepticism crumbling under witness conviction. Birthing books and a 2005 film where the beast rampages through fog. Festivals draw crowds to Elkhorn. The Christmas card town, now scarred by legend, while online forums pulse with blurry photos and fervent debates. It's folklore fused with flesh, a reminder that the fields hold more than the harvest. Let's poll the room. Was this a wolf man or a phantom? What stalks Bray Road in your mind? So you're back on that road. Engine idling. The beast growl fading into the wind. Why do footprints span 12 inches yet vanish without pursuit? Could isolation and ritual whispers amplify a bear's silhouette into apocalypse? If it's no cryptid, what primal fear does it unearth? The wild reclaiming the tamed, and in its glowing gaze, do we see our own untamed shadows? Let the chat echo with your hunches. Let's get into it. Let's poll. You want to do a poll? Let's do a poll. All right. I like doing a poll here. Polls are fun. Where's the thing where I do polls at? Right here. All right. I see there's some chats I need to recognize here. We're going to start a poll real quick. All right. We fire this up. We're going to do the beast. What is the beast? Hold on. I'm trying to type around my damn keyboard and my damn stuff over here. I'm trying to get around it. All right. The beast of Bray Road. What? I can't see a dang thing. Dang gummit. Dang gummit. What in tarnation? Yes, I am Yosemite Sam. I admit it. I've always been Yosemite Sam. Oh, goodness. I'd rather be Foghorn Leghorn, to be honest. Got a thing for that rooster. All right, polls up. Polls up. Let's hit it. All right, I see some chats coming in. I got to acknowledge here. Let me just see what we're working with. I got all kinds of... Oh, Deazad. Hey, Deazad, thanks so much. What's Deazad say here? Thanks for giving us some time to creep out, Pete. By the way, Valiant Thor says hello. Valiant Thor, the stranger at the Pentagon? What's he doing here? Deazad, are you in contact with Valiant Thor? Does his spaceship still reside underneath Lake Mead? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm going to have to crack open the old Time Life Mysteries of the Unknown to research that one. So we're going to poll up now. We're going to just dwell on that for a couple minutes while we banter about here. I can't see nothing or nobody because I took my glasses off. I meant to have them off when I was telling the story and then put them back on while I was reading the chat, but I got it backwards. Got it backwards, folks. Got it backwards. Also keep leaning into the microphone shadow, and I'm trying not to do that. I'm very conscious of what's happening around me. Very conscious. Pull it together, man. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. I know a person that had a farm in Elkhorn, took a pic of wolf prints that turned into human. Yo, that's crazy. Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal? Are you shitting me? Holy crap. I ain't seen you in a hot minute neither. That is fantastic. Holy smokes. Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal tuning in. Is that the Elder Goon? Elder Goon, what's up? Gooning and buffooning, baby. That's fun. That's fun stuff. All right. Ginger Viking Jesus. I'm sorry I'm so amped up tonight, everybody, because I'm utterly exhausted. And if I don't stay at high energy levels, it's very likely I may fall asleep on you. And I don't want that to happen. Rick Sanchez, no, I'm dead serious. He showed me the video. No, I absolutely believe that part. Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. I was just unaware that you were still alive. It's so good to see you. Yeah, you were probably wondering if I was still alive as well, because I've been gone for quite a while, dilly-dallying about with life. You know, I'll tell you the truth is I kept sitting around saying to myself, when the time is right, I'll start again. When the time is right, I'll become consistent and dedicate myself to the work in a manner I have not done in the past. Then I realized the time will never be right, that I must make the time right. So no longer do I sit on the sidelines timid and tired. I sully forth. I sully forth. I'm making myself crazy. All right, where are we at now? Let's see how long the poll's been up. Take a look here. All right, where are we at? Okay, poll's been up. We got 1 more minute riding on the poll here. So if you are interested in contributing to the poll, go ahead and vote now. We're running out of time on that. Overwhelmingly, now look, I tell you what, usually it's a pretty accepting crowd around here. I mean, there's a lot of times I've told you some real humdingers of stories, and you guys kind of buy a lot of them. But it looks like the Beast of Bray Road is not doing so well tonight. We are leaning towards Phantom territory with this one. Do we doubt the existence of werewolves altogether? Now, that's a debate for a whole nother time, rather. But are dogmen werewolves? I have always conflated the two. I think the dogman invention is kind of like it's like an offshoot of the Bigfoot stuff. Like I'd like to narrow down when the first. I guess the Beast of Bray Road would probably be the first dogman sighting of recorded modern history. Of course, there was always the Cenocelophy in the past. There's Byzantine examples of Saint Christopher depicted as a Cenocelophy. They are the dog-headed men. So those were an ancient Greek invention, I believe. They did believe that these dog-headed men wore clothing and engaged in commerce. So that is an interesting aspect of their rumored existence. These are very similar to like the Bellamy, those creatures that have no heads but faces in their chest. These are fantastic creatures like Duende. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the poll. I actually ran for a minute longer. Wow, I'm surprised by this one. We're ending the poll up right now. Yeah, we're ending the poll up right now. Okay, cool. What about livestock, Tina? I don't know what that has to do with anything. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Rick Sanchez says, GTSY, good to see you, I presume. Thank you, Rick Sanchez. It's my spirit animal. All right. Where are we at? Okay. So, according to the poll results, I don't even know where they went. Oh, here we go. Looks like the phantom theory clocks it at 61%, leaving the wolf theory at 38%. So, it looks like with a resounding authority, the chat has determined the Beast of Bray Road is a bunch of baloney. So, yeah, I guess that's the case, folks. I'm kind of surprised to see that. A little surprised to see that, personally. I think that personally, for me, I'm open to the idea of canine cryptids. The reason being is because of those myths of the Cenocelophy. What if they're, and they always were depicted as being like a separate civilization from humankind. So what if these creatures did have the kind of their own isolated community? It is possible, I think, that they're probably not many of them. They're probably not here in the New World in the same manner. And I question whether or not these dogmen are, civilized to the degree that the Cenocelophy were. I can't imagine dogmen are, stitching together clothes and engaging in trade with local communities. They generally seem to be savage animals to me, in my estimation. So that's a little food for thought. Oh, the dogmen traded their livestock. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Well, that's true. That's true as well. You mean the Cenocelophy? Yes, that was the case. Yeah, they were involved in the livestock trade, according to the legends. I think you are correct in that regard. So yeah, let's keep it rolling. Let's see where we're at now. All right, I think we got another one here. We're gonna roll into the next topic because we're already 20 minutes into the show. So here we go. Second topic of the night. I wanted to go with a classic. Definitely something of a spiritual nature, and I was really careful in cultivating tonight's topics. I wanted to hit something from every area of the unexplained, and hopefully we've achieved that. So we're going to settle into our second topic tonight. I feel like I have 1 million 2-foot-long nose hairs, and every time I breathe, they go in and out like a party favor. I don't know what the issue is. I need to get a trimmer or something. This is ridiculous. I'm a man of wild nose hairs. It's bad enough that my eyebrows look like 2 caterpillars doing a mating dance on my forehead. But this nose hair situation is becoming unruly. All right, let's keep it rocking. The next topic we got coming up is the exorcism of Roland Doe. Was this a demonic fury or a fractured mind? So the clock ticks past midnight in a modest Maryland home. It's 1949, and you're a boy of 13 years old. Sheets twisted around you as furniture scrapes across the floor unbidden. A guttural voice, not yours, rasps Latin curses from your throat. your body convulsing in ways no human should know. This is the exorcism of Roland Doe, a descent into infernal chaos that gripped a family and priests alike, blurring faith's fire with the abyss of the soul. Now let's start at the threshold where holy water hisses like venom. You're rolling to Robbie in Cottage City, the air thick with unease after your aunt's death, and a Ouija board seance, her final gift. Objects hurl themselves from shelves. Your bed shakes as if gripped by an earthquake. Scratches bloom red across your skin without cause. Your voice warps deep and demonic, spitting profanities in a tongue you've never learned. The family huddles, lights flickering as the unseen force mocks your prayers, turning the boys' room into a battlefield of the damned. Transported to St. Louis' Alexian Brothers Hospital, you're strapped to the bed under Father Raymond Bishop's steady gaze, his diary capturing every spasm. Father Edward Hughes arrives, crucifix raised, but words twist in your mouth. Get out, you fool! As a bed spring snaps, slashing his arm for over 100 stitches. Latin floods the room, your body arching impossibly, vomit and spittle flying like accusations. Over 20 sessions, priests like William Bowden and Walter Holleran battle on. One's nose cracked under an unseen blow, the air electric with chants and cries. Step into the doubter's circle. Parapsychologist Joseph Banks Rhine pores over reports suspecting exaggerations in flying furniture, while skeptics like Mark Opsonick paint you as a disturbed bully. Tantrums amplified by grief and suggestion. No medical anomaly explains the Latin or the levitations, perhaps temporal lobe seizures or a boy's rebellion cloaked in hysteria. The church weighs the evidence, approving rites only after torment proves unearthly. Yet the line between spirit and sickness blurs in the dim hospital glow. You're leafing through William Peter Batley's pages, the boy's fury birthing the exorcism, a film that seared screens and souls alike. Documentaries dissect the diary secrets, while forums hum with eyewitness echoes from Holleran himself. It's a saga that lingers in exorcism lore, a cautionary fire for the faithful. Time for a poll. Is this a demonic fury or a fractured mind? What possessed Roland? You're in that bed once more. The crucifix heavy in your hand. The final words. I command you, unclean spirit, fading as calm descends. Why the Latin from a Lutheran boy? Could grief alone summon such savagery? Or does the abyss truly whisper? If minds fracture, what of the priest's scars? And in this tale, do we confront our own hidden tempest? I await your verdict. Time for a poll. Let's rock it out. Is this fury or a fractured mind? Here we go. Let's rock it out. All right, I'm going to set the poll up. You guys ready? Pay attention now. I hope you're all paying attention. We're going to start with the poll. Didn't spell that right. I don't spell anything right anymore because I got fat hot dog fingers. And every time I try to type on anything, I mash the keys with my big fat hot dog fingers. All right, where was I? All right, what was the question? Was this a fractured mind or demonic possession? Demons or crazies? You vote. Starting the poll. The Exorcist. Was it demons or was it crazies? Did he have a case of the crazies? Could have been that. I mean, it could have been. You never know. You never know how these things work. It's possible. Hey, people got hanging out right now. I got about 36 people in here. 36 people hanging out tonight. That's not too terrible. I'm glad to see anybody tuning in, honestly. So thanks for being here. Hey, listen, I apologize. I did not really have much time before I had to start my day prior to setting up the stream. So I didn't really have an opportunity to promote it via the various social channels that I normally do. And this has been 2 weeks in a row that this has occurred because I'm trying to play catch up with myself. So what I will do is I'll post those promotional blurbs or what have you after the stream ends, just to bring attention to those who might have missed it. But yeah, in the future I'll get a little better on that because I don't know if everybody was aware it was happening. But at this point, most of you probably know we're here on Saturday nights. We've done this. I think we are now. I want to say like 11 weeks. Maybe we've done this somewhere between 8 and 11 times, I believe. I'm not quite sure. I did look at it just earlier, but now it escapes me. Absolutely escapes me. All right, we're going to dip into the chat again. Let's see where we're at. I want to see if I missed anything that was directly addressed to me. So I'm just scrolling up a bit. All right. Where we at? We're back to that Dogman part. I'm still rocking down. What's up, Bogus Hype? A number of years ago, the Vatican made an artificial statement that demonic possession and exorcism is a real phenomenon. Oh, official statement. I can't see for nothing there, Bogus Hype. These 7-Eleven reading glasses are not cutting it with how small everything is anymore. I had real glasses from the America's Best, but I thought to save a few bucks, I'd use some old frames, which immediately disintegrated. The lenses shot out like springs from a broken watch, and the frames turned into dust as if Thanos had snapped his fingers. So I had to quickly abscond to the 7-Eleven to fetch a pair of overpriced reading glasses. Even then, I carry a magnifying glass now because I am old. All right. Okay. Number of years ago, Vatican. It's fractured more than his mind. Dragon points and speak, if that program is still a thing. Oh, Dragon point and speak. What are you talking about? Oh, you mean the thing that where you're talking and he types your stuff? Oh, okay. Emerald Eagle 777. I just arrived. Blessings upon Tina and all. Thank you there, Emerald Eagle. Thanks for tuning in. Rick Sanchez, I would think that levitating and speaking different languages is way more than just being mentally ill. Just saying. I agree there, Rick Sanchez. I absolutely agree. I think that's absolutely the case. Once you get into those supernatural situations, there's a channel I follow on YouTube here called Sensus Fidelum. And you will find many interviews with a priest named Chad Ripperger. He is a very prolific exorcist. He has participated in many an exorcism, and he speaks very plainly about his experience with these entities. And look, at the end of the day, what we're talking about is non-corporeal, non-human intelligences. And we can argue back and forth what the origin of these creatures is, but I think at this point we can settle the fact that something like this is very likely to exist. If we can posit the idea of interdimensional beings, then it's not so hard to parse things like the afterlife into those categories. And if these creatures do exist, according to the ancient scripts and texts, in the manner that they have been described, then they roam the desolate places. They inflict the human mind. And speaking of the priest I had mentioned, Ripperger, he speaks about the demon's power to influence our senses. So, they can kind of take control of our hearing or our vision. They can take control of our senses in a way to influence them. And that's not even possession at that point, because I think there are different categories of the possession experience. You can have a obsession, an infestation, a vexation, or a full-blown possession, where one of these ancient, very ancient, I mean, who could even fathom how old these things are? These beings try to commandeer human life, human experience. And I've heard various explanations for the reason for this. So I'm gonna get into a little extra biblical stuff as I address this, but if we delve into the idea that there are demons out there, what is the origin of these creatures? And it goes back to that apocrypha, pseudepigrapha kind of stuff, like the Book of Enoch. And in the Book of Enoch, we find that these beings come into existence, called the Nephilim, because some angels transgress. There's two groups of angels in the history of Judaism and Christianity that rebel. First are, of course, the rebel angels, where Satan takes a third of his angels and they rebel against God's throne and they're cast out. Also are the fallen angels, the 200 watchers that descend on Mount Hermon, take human wives, and give birth to the Nephilim. So when the flood occurs, these Nephilim don't belong on earth or in heaven. They're not even supposed to exist. So largely when God decides to address this situation, the archangels are sent to like deal with this giant thing. So they turn the giants against one another and they slaughter each other, but their souls are trapped on earth and they roam the desolate places. They have all the needs of a human body. They want sensation, they want food, they have desire, but they cannot satisfy any of them because they don't have bodies. That is part of the curse that has been placed upon them. They wander with all the desires of the flesh, but no flesh to exist in. And I think that's why we get these situations where they seek out a poor victim's soul to oppress in this way, And one of the more profound cases that always sticks out to me is the Anneliese Michel case that comes out of Germany. They made that Exorcism of Emily Rose movie in reference to that one, which is a lot more of a courtroom drama than an exorcism movie. But I mean, I appreciate the interesting take on the presentation. I don't know. Movies ain't what they used to be, but that's another topic altogether. All right. I'm in Motormouth, and let's see how long that poll's been up. 6 minutes. I think that's like twice as long as it should be. So according to the poll, now this is another resounding, definitive answer from the chat. The demon hypotheses garnered 67% of the vote, while the crazies only got 33%. So I think that we can kind of all agree that something pretty strange went on in the Roland Doe case. And I mean, exorcism, I believe in exorcism. It's been practiced by cultures across the world for many millennia, And how often do these situations occur where you need to go get a priest in there to deal with them, Something about that ancient rite of exorcism seems to have an effect, So I guess casting out demons is still a thing. All right, appreciate it. Let's hit the chat real quick, see if I'm missing anything. Ginger says sounds like a skill issue. Don't know what that's in reference to. Fallen angels, there we go. Yeah, you're right about that. Tina dropped the link to Census Fidelum if you want to check it out. Bogus Hype says the Bible says they're unclean spirits. I listen to people who say they're disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. Exactly, Bogus Hype. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was referring to. Ginger's having some ale. I just have I got this Modelo here that I opened when we started. I'm going to take a sip of that if you don't mind. I'm off tomorrow. So I'll have 2 beers and fall asleep. That's how it goes anymore. Used to be good for like 17. Now I'm like good for 2, 3. Slowing down, folks. Slowing down. All right, let's rock. We're going to get into topic number 3. This one comes from the realm of the UFO phenomenon. It is the Cash Landrum incident. Was this a blazing craft or a forbidden flame? So it's a humid December evening. It's 1980, deep in Texas piney woods. And you're cruising a lonely road, radio static your only companion. And suddenly, a blinding diamond of fire erupts ahead, flames licking at its edges, heat warping the air like a furnace door flung wide open. This is the Cash Landrum incident, a close encounter that scorched 3 souls and ignited questions of secret skies. Let's accelerate into the inferno where the night ignites. So you're Betty Cash at the wheel of your Oldsmobile. Vicki Landrum beside you, her grandson Colby in the back when the craft descends. Massive, diamond-shaped, hovering low with a roar like a turbine choir. Flames belch from its base, searing your skin through the windshield as you brake. The diamond pulsing orange, heat blistering the dashboard. Vicki steps out mesmerized while Colby whimpers. Helicopters, double-rotored Chinooks, over 20, swarm like hounds, their lights piercing the blaze. The air tastes of ozone and dread. The craft tilts, trailing fire, and you tail it for miles. The road, a ribbon of shadow under its glow. Military shadows flicker, black unmarked choppers joining the fray until the diamond banks away, leaving you trembling, skin flushed red. Back home, blisters arise, nausea twisting your gut as fever claims you. Vicky's hair falls out in clumps. Colby's eyes swell shut. Hospital beds swallow you all. Doctors murmuring of radiation's kiss. Yet no sources confess. You're sifting files with investigators like John Schuessler, tracing symptoms to ionizing burns. But the military denies. No Chinook flew that night. No craft tested. Skeptics point to marsh gas or a chemical spill. The helicopter, a fevered overlay, while UFO probes unearth witness echoes of similar pursuits. The lawsuit against the government crumbles in 1986. Testimony sealing lips, but the scars, festering sores, lifelong frailty defy dismissal. Excuse me. What scorched the truth? You're scanning headlines from tabloids to History Channel documentaries. The incident, a cornerstone of close encounter lore. It's radiation, a warning etched in flesh. Forms flicker with theories of black op tech, while films dramatize the blaze. It's a spark that endures, questioning the skies above. Now, since we're getting tight on time here, pardon me one moment. I'm going to since we're getting tight on time, I'm going to skip the poll on the third topic. And I've generally been doing that lately. I skip the poll on the third topic. I don't want to just hammer you guys with polls every time I talk. You know, I don't even hammer you with polls. Okay. So let's say you're, I guess you're in a car again. The heat is rising. The diamonds glow, fading into an after image. Why the synchronized burns? The child's unfeigned terror. Could secrecy cloak a terrestrial trial gone wrong? Or does the unknown burn brighter? If a hoax, where's the medical proof? And in this fire, do we glimpse humanity's reach or the stars' rebuke? Let me know what you think. Let's get into that. Uh-oh. What happened there? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened with that. Okay. I don't know if we're still on Instagram or not. Don't know if that's still a thing. We may have lost the Instagram feed. I don't know if that's the case or not. I cannot even tell anymore. Something happened to the window. What is this? That's not it. None of this is it. None of this is it. Code red. Code red. The feed is down. The feed is down on Instagram. Oh, man. Now everything's going haywire here. Too many windows. Too many windows opening once. Too many windows. Too many words. All right. What do you guys think of this one? This one, I gotta be honest. I've known a lot of UFO incidents over the years, and this one had really slipped my mind. I've never covered this topic. I couldn't even remember the name of it, honestly. Like, I knew that this had occurred, like people got burned from a UFO, but I could not for the life of me remember the name of this one. It was real, and I'm usually pretty good with the recall, folks. So this was a pleasant surprise for me to finally be able to put a name to the face, if you know what I mean. So yes, the Cash Landrum incident. People got severe burns after a close encounter. And could this be radiation? I mean, does radiation even affect you that quick if it's not like an incredibly high doses? I'm not sure. I mean, obviously there's people at Chernobyl experienced something of incredibly high radiation and they didn't survive. Some of those people that went in to shut down the reactor. But, at the end of the day, I don't know how fast radiation can cause those kind of injuries. I'm no medical professional in that regard. So I would require a little bit of research to kind of parse that all out. So yeah, there we go. There we go with that one. Let me see where we're at. We got 20 more minutes to go. All right, cool, because we got 2 more topics. 2 more topics to go, yes. So let me get in the chat a minute, yes, again. Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. I have seen this same UFO in 1989 in Ohio, late night driving with my parents. But it was orange and going behind the pine forest. That is terrifying, Rick Sanchez. I am very concerned that aliens might show up any day now because everything is so stupid. And I expect dumb stuff to happen now. I just feel like we're like cartoon world at this point. So I don't even suspect Bluebeam anymore. Like, I don't even think it's feasible. Like, I mean, what are you going to do? Fly drones out there? I've seen amazing stuff over baseball games with drone swarms. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, you could probably pull this off in front of people who've never seen a drone swarm. But I mean, how are you going to do that around the globe too? And I've always been contentious about the whole plan because I feel like you don't necessarily need to do it around the world. You need one fake spaceship and you just crash it into a major city. And then it's like, oh, there's a spaceship now. You don't even have to crash. Like, I think there's an episode of Doctor Who from like 20 years ago where they crash a spaceship into the Thames River. And I mean, you could do that. There's no reason you couldn't do that. You could pull a Sully Sullenberger and crash that UFO into the friggin' river, And then that's all it takes. Then the whole world knows there's a spaceship and you've got the same effect. Like, it just seems like it'd be cheaper and less labor intensive. So I don't know, like the whole Bluebeam thing, it's very fanciful for me. It's very fanciful. I mean, but hey, they like to waste money and it's probably really good at it. So, I mean, that's probably a good way to do it. Rick Sanchez says, look up the book, The Brotherhood of the Bell. This particular UFO was followed by helicopters. It was man-made using alien technology. I don't know about alien technology anymore. I've become very dubious of whether or not there's anything in space at all. Besides, like, I don't even know. I don't even know. Because I'm very much of the opinion that everything we are told is a effing lie. There is nothing that's true, except maybe the Bible. I don't think anything else is true, okay? I don't trust nothing no more. Every social contract has been broken. Everybody's a friggin' fibber. Pants on fire. Turn on the news, and it's just bohonky baloney. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done caring. I don't believe none of it. It's like you're better off going listen to old Bill Cooper hour at a time episodes than wasting your time with this rotten world and its awful people. Like, God, everybody's really, really evil. But the scriptures say this would happen. So I think that definitely time to get right with God, folks. Definitely time, because we do not know the day or the hour, and he will come like a thief in the night. But I digress. Let's talk about another figure of a quasi-religious nature from the legends of ancient Greece. Our next topic, Apollonius of Tyana, sage of miracles, or shadow of divinity. The sun beats down on a dusty road of the 1st century Cappadocia, and your youth of 16, renouncing meat and wine for Pythagoras' vow, your mind ablaze with visions of the unseen. This is Apollonius of Tyana, the wandering philosopher whose feats rivaled gods, a life of prophecy and power that echoed through empires. Let's tread his path, where intellect bends the veil between worlds. So you're Apollonius of Tyana in like 15 AD. Hair locked in silence, traversing from Athens to India, debating kings and demons alike. At Aegaeus temple, you swear the vow, 5 years mute, sensing, honed, emerging a seer whose gaze pierces the soul. Crowds flock to you as you heal the lame in Ephesus, a plague fleeing your command, the air humming with your chants. From the Ganges to the Atlantic, your steps weave wisdom and wonder. In Antioch, you're confronting a vampire's shade, your voice banishing it into the ether. In Rome, foretelling Nero's fall, whispers of execution that never land. You vanish from chains, appear in dreams to emperors. Your companion Damis, chronicling feats, raising the dead, taming tempests, the blur sage and sorcerer. Foliostratius pages paint you triumphant over death itself, ascending in a blaze of light, leaving disciples awed. You're in a skeptic symposium, weighing Philostratus' 3rd century tome against sparse coins and inscriptions. No miracles in contemporary scrolls, just a Neo-Pythagorean reformer. Porphyry hails you cures as intellect's triumph, not spells, while Heracles pits you against Christ in pagan pride. The legends, born of Empress Julia Domna's commission, serve as counter to the rising faiths. Yet your silence on magic whispers of deeper truths. You're poring over Neoplatonic tomes, where your life inspires Bacon's utopias and enlightening admirers like Francis Barrett, who crown you extraordinary. Modern novels and films resurrect your wanderings, a bridge from antiquity's mysteries into our own quests. It's a tapestry enduring, a sage against the stars. So what do you think? Apollonius of Tyana? There's so much more with this guy. I could definitely do a new video about him if I wanted to. So I'll drop a poll on this one in a moment. But you know what? I want you to get back on that road again. You're back on the road again. The horizon is calling. Why the parallels to the prophets if it's mere philosophy? Could silence veil feats too vast for the scrolls? If legend, what kernel of power persists? And in your gaze, do we see our own uncharted intellects? The chat calls for your insight. So let's do a poll. Was this man a sage of miracles, or a shadow of divinity? Now, there are many, many reports of Apollonius having a familial origin via the way of... Oh, I never ended that first poll. I apologize. We're going to end that poll. So yeah, ending the last poll, I just totally blanked out on that. Looks like the winner was Demons at 64% to Crazies 39% in the final poll. I'm going to pop up a new one here, start a new poll. We got this one here is for Apollonius, whether it's a sage of miracles here or he was a shadow of divinity. Like, what's going on? Was this man a demigod of some kind? Or was he just a sorcerer? Was he a some kind of visionary of powers that we do not understand? Did he achieve feats of the esoteric that would be very hard for us to duplicate in the modern era? I do not know. I do know that some legends say Apollonius was gifted a magical golden arrow. And much like the character in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies that whistles around and his arrow flies to and fro, Apollonius had this ability as well. It is said that he could sit on the arrow and it would support his weight and also fly him around the world. So yeah, like a magic broom, I guess. But yeah, it was an arrow of some kind, a golden arrow. We got that poll up. We'll see what's cracking there. Ginger says, what if the rapture is just another way to say mass abduction event? Well, Ginger, I am a Roman Catholic of the traditionalist bent, and I do not believe in the rapture. The rapture was made up by, like, I think John Nelson Darby, if I'm not mistaken, in like the 1824. So yeah, the rapture was cooked up by an American Protestant in the 1800s, like Civil War times. Well, no, it was earlier than the Civil War. But I mean, like, we're talking about 1820s. Like, this is more whole cloth nonsense. And so much of American Christianity, I guess, was so easily influenced by those tent revival era evangelical ministers that what we have is this like enormous population of non-denominationals. There are no denominations. There's one church. It's Catholic. Jesus founded it. If you're not Catholic, then I don't know what you're doing. You could be Byzantine too. You could do that. Orthodox counts. All that other stuff, dude. If your church has a stage and not an altar, I don't know what you're doing, dude. I don't know what you're doing. Like, what's going on with that? So yeah, there is no rapture, Ginger. There is no rapture. It's literally like a video game. What's literally like a video game? They probably roll up the windows and lock them when driving past our solar system. Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's aliens out there. I think this is all spiritual stuff. It's all spiritual stuff. Look, I could be convinced that the world is bigger than we think it is. I could be convinced there's an ice wall and there's other stuff on the other side of it. I'm not going to buy into flat stuff. I never did. And I don't think that my current understanding of how our world exists fits in with that paradigm. So, this is just me politicking a little bit as I eat up time. Tina Tomzewski, I like that. Does your church have a stage or an altar? Like, really? Do you think in like the Second Temple, The one Jesus goes into and flips all the tables and starts whipping dude. The one Jesus got lost in when he was 12 years old. For 3 days, Mary and Joseph couldn't find him. Do you think at that temple they had like rock bands on like Bon Jovi wires from the ceiling flying around? You know, like, do you think that was happening? I don't. Like, I find it very strange. Like, you see some of these guys, like Joel Osteen, like this dude's like richer than lords, you know? And look, we could go back to the Pope and be like, oh, this guy sits on a gold throne or whatever. But here's the thing. The Vatican holds treasures that have been there for hundreds, if not thousands of years at this point. So the Vatican contains like priceless treasures. It is not merely a storehouse of wealth. It is a museum that preserves some of the greatest pieces of cultural artifacts of human history and of Western civilization. So please consider it like that. And look, I know there might be non-religious out there, but I've come to really understand this over the course of many years. Churches are not museums for the holy. They are hospitals for broken, shattered people, and we are all fucked up people. So, like, what you need to find something to fix that, because I cannot believe how messed up everybody is anymore. Like, it's heartbreaking. All right, so moving right along. I've politicked enough, and we got about oh man, we're in a time crunch now. We got 9 minutes left. I might go a little bit over. I might go just a few minutes over. All right, the poll is up. It looks like 70% have chosen to say that Apollonius of Tyana sparked the shadow of divinity, while a mere 30% said it is a sage of miracles. So yeah, it looks like people think there might be a touch of that spiritual power that might exist within the story of Apollonius of Tyana. Was he really a descendant of Apollo? And I mean, we could speculate on where his true origins in nature are at any point. I mean, and that's not too hard to do. You get into some Prometheus stuff, the Titan who steals fire from the gods and gives it to man. And I know a lot of the Luciferians try to paint the devil as this Prometheus figure, but I think that's kind of horsewash too. So yeah, whatever you want with that. You know, that's how I feel about all that baloney. What about Dolores Cannon and the Hopi Indians? Talks about the bifurcation of Mother Earth and others. Emerald Eagle, I do not cotton to any form of paganism. None of that is true. I don't buy into any of it. All that stuff is like non-corporeal, non-human intelligent spirits. Maybe some are ambivalent to humans. Maybe few are benevolent to humans, but I think most are very, very evil. I think that's why we fear spirits by nature. And I don't think these are spirits of like dead humans. These are not ghosts. These are something else. And I don't cotton to anything pagan. I don't mess with it. I don't mess with that pagan nonsense. And my problem with most of paganism, and I will say this, at least for the peoples who crossed the ice bridge into the Americas and settled here 12,000 years ago, for those people, at least a lot of their tradition has kind of been preserved over the last 2 centuries. The ancient paganism of Europe is largely lost. So most of this like Wicca stuff, like that's all made up in the 1950s. Cooked up whole cloth, man. All that stuff's just made up, you know? It's just totally made up because nobody knows what Druids were doing. None of it was written down. And if it was destroyed. You know, it just doesn't exist. So for all these magical systems, like what were the witches really doing? I mean, we might have stuff like the Malleus Maleficarum, like the Hammer of Witches, how to deal with witch, but how many of surviving like witch writings do we have? A lot of that stuff was probably burned up too. So, you know, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows. They're just playing it by ear, you know? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you talk about Mote It Be and the Wicked Reed and the Rule of Three. Like, keep that in mind that all that is just totally made up at some point after the 1950s. There's nothing that makes that ancient tradition. It's like that's just the case, you know. And I think to that degree is why I feel like systems like chaos magic have a little bit more going for them, you know. And I know that's kind of like pop culture magic, but I mean, maybe not anymore. I don't know. I mean, it's been around since the 70s. You Peter Carroll and there's like Liber Null and Psychonaut. So like, you know, that's Condensed Chaos. There's another one. That's that Hine who wrote that one. So like, yeah, I mean, these books are out there and they have been for quite a while, but like, and I think the flexibility to adopt from several systems would lend a lot of, I guess, flexibility to the practice of chaos magic. Anywho, I'm getting off on a tangent again. All right, we got our last topic. our last topic. I'm being a little opinionated, so I don't care. I'm really biting my tongue on a lot of other things that are going on in the world right now because I could rant and rave and really, really lose it. I've been pretty despondent over the last few days over how our world is, and it's been a little upsetting. That's why I'm glad to be here with like-minded people who share my interest in the strange and unusual, because we need some escapism these days. We need to, and it's like everything's become crazy. So let's escape into real crazy, because you can't be wrong about Bigfoot. All right. We're going to swing it in with our last story of the night. Topic number 5, the lost tomb of Alexander the Great. But before we get into that, let's wrap up the poll. Now, according to this, we are a little close here. 58 believe that Apollonius had a shadow of divinity, while 42 think he was just a sage of miracles. All right, now back to it. Alexander the Great. All right, so the Nile laps at the Alexandrian shores. It's 323 BC, and you're Ptolemy, spiriting a golden sarcophagus through desert sands, the weight of an empire in your arms. Alexander's tomb, the Sema, once a beacon for Caesars and scholars, slips into oblivion amid quakes and conquests. Let's unearth its secrets. Where glory's dust hides a conqueror's bones. So you're in Memphis first. Alexander's mummified form in a gold repose, then ferried to Alexandria by Ptolemy II in 280 BC. Amid fanfare and oracle's nods, emperors kneel. Augustus crowns himself pharaoh at your feet, while crowds throng the Sema, donations piling like sand. Strabo maps its grandeur, a marker of god kings, until riots and tsunamis in 365 AD swallow its light. You're Heinrich Scheilman in 1888, barred from Nabi Daniel Mosque's depths, or Tyrion Talafios Papiosis in 1993, eyeing Vergine's royal tombs for your remains with Roxanne. Calliope Lemonius Papakosas digs Charlotte Gardens, unearthing Roman roads and statues. Convincing priest hid you from Christian zeal. Siwa Oasis whispers of Amun's temple buried, while Venice's St. Mark's crypt hints at misidentified relics. You are Andrew Chugg, tracing your sarcophagus chunks to Vienna thieves, mistaking you for a mark, or weighing earthquake's wrath against deliberate concealment by cults fearing desecration. Over 140 official quests falter, no inscription, no bones. Yet local memories cling like cobwebs. Skeptics cite Theodosius in his 392 AD pagan ban as the final shroud, a glory erased in iconoclasm's fire. You're amid National Geographic spotlights. Papakostas finds funding to fuel headlines, while novels and docs chase your shadows from Siwa to the sea. Alexandria's museum hums with fragments, your legacy a lore for dreamers. A conqueror's crypt, now faded glory. Who knows where Alexander lies? You're before the Sema once more. Sands shifting. Why the oracle's silence on your sight? Could faith's fury bury even the gods? If lost, what of the empire it birthed? And in this void, do we seek not bones, but the fire that forged worlds? Let's chat. Hey, we got a super chat, by the way, popping on in here. I do appreciate that. From Guru Augie. Pete, you're the man. Loving. Oh, wait, here we go. Pete, you're the man. Loving the lives and shorts. Hope you were doing well. Thanks for letting me be part of the community. Peace be upon you. Well, thank you very much, Guru Augie. I do appreciate that very much for the $5. Thank you. And then Ginger, I'm sorry, Deazad. I'm sorry, misidentification there. I was looking at Ginger's name, but I meant to say Deazad. Deazad as well. So thank you very much. So listen, we hit the 1 hour mark. Generally, this is the point where I do a 10-minute Q&A, and surprisingly, I'm more awake than I expected to be. But how about this? I'm going to make a special arrangement tonight, if any of you are interested. So, let me open up a window here so I can obtain something for this purpose. Okay. All right, I think I got what I'm looking for. Well, this is opening up a lot faster than I expected it to. Okay. All righty, let me just grab something real quick. Are we in the right spot? I think so. Okay. Am I logged in here? That's the question. Okay, I am. I am logged in here. All right, good. All right, so let me grab something here. Oh, what are these? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something special tonight. Okay. Let me find this dang thing. Where is it? I don't remember where it is, honestly. Okay. General. What's this? I'm just trying to find something so I can share it with you, and I'm not doing a good job of it. So I hope you will forgive me. Trying to get this going. How we do? Oh, here we go. There it is. Oh man, fiddly dee. That was a dumb. Okay, that was flipping dumb. Okay, I am back. All right. So listen, we are over the hour mark. I'm going to do another 8 minutes of questions. If you got anything you want to talk about, we're gonna. You know what? I'm not even going to do that. Here's what we're going to do. I didn't mean to do this. Here's what we're going to do. I have a Discord, and I'm going to go hang out over there in about 10 minutes. So when I'm done here, I'm going to take a 10-minute break. I'm going to go outside and rip a Lucky Strike. Then I'm going to grab 2 more cold brewskis, and I'm going to come back here and sit down. I'm going to hang out in the voice chat and Discord if any of you want to sit around and chew the fat. So if any of you are down for that, let me know. I'm going to put the Discord invite in the chat right now, okay? So we're going to pop that in there. If you're not already a member of the Discord, it is, there it is. I just dropped it in the chat for you all. So like I said, if you are interested in perhaps helping do a little promotion for me, I don't want you to go out of your way, but if you're already active on a site, pretty frequently, and you want to share my stuff, I'm not asking you to do it 100 times a day, but I post new stuff once a day, and if you'd be so inclined to share it, I'd really appreciate that. So if anybody's willing to commit to doing that, even for a couple days, if you can do 3 days a week, just let me know. Hey, just say, hey, Pete, I'm gonna hop on that bandwagon with you because I do appreciate the help. Likewise, if you are interested in appearing on a live stream on Halloween with me, then hit me up in my DMs on Instagram or on X. Okay. And those are easy to find. I would drop you the link, but I'm not doing that. You can find them on your own. You know what the hell you're doing. But the Discord, you do need an invite to get into. So with that said, I'm going to scan the chat one last time to see if there's any comments I need to address. We got an antediluvian from Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. Ginger Viking Jesus is over there. My spirit animal says more. Like I said, look, if you're interested in more, I'm not going to do the show any longer, but we will hang out in the Discord chat after this ends. I think my earbuds are charged at this point, so we should be good. All right. Pete, take us to the star on the right. Hey, Briscoe Rob. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Awaken the Wheel. Dang, missed it. All right. Hey, listen, Awaken the Wheel. If you want to join us in the Discord voice chat, we're going to hang out there and talk for a little bit tonight. Just chew the fat. I am off tomorrow. I'm surprisingly energized. I've got a couple cold Modelo's I'm willing to have, and I just want to chew the fat. We'll hang out for a little bit. All right. With that said, I'm going to wrap up the show. So listen, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We do this once a week, every Saturday night at midnight Eastern Standard Time, the Midnight Mystery Sessions. I like to provide 5 well-crafted and very engaging presentations regarding the topics. Now, the shorts are a little more sensational, I guess. I wouldn't say sensational, but a little more intense. I bring a lot of intensity to the shorts because I'm trying to hold your attention for that minute and a half, and they're very concise. And last but not least, the short videos that I do have on deck are more informative, more of like a lecture presentation, less of the storytelling or the blurb. So stay tuned for those as well. If you missed my last 2, I did one regarding the prophecy of Untersberg, a ghost of a Babylonian goddess that appeared to a Templar knight 800 years ago, and I followed that up with a a little video about the Orion Wars from the Prism of Lyra. So anyway, thanks to Tina Tomaszewski for handling the moderation tonight. I want to say thank you to our live chat audience. Specific thank you to our super chat contributors. Thank you so much. Been a slow month, so I do appreciate you. I know it's tough out there. Everything's so damn expensive. I got one back from the grocery store the other day with $66, and I'm not talking like I'm not having Filet Mignon and Pinot Grigio. I mean, like we're talking some staples here, and it's very pricey out there these days. I want to treat myself to a little ice cream, and that's through the roof too. So it is what it is. Anywho, thanks for hanging out. Let's hang out in the Discord after the show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check out my daily short videos. Stay tuned for some more extensive uploads regarding regularly pre-recorded videos. And last but not least, join us every Saturday night for the Midnight Mystery live sessions. The link to the Discord is in the chat currently. If you want to hang out, click it. If you are interested in the Halloween show, hit me up on the DMs, either on Twitter or Instagram. Have a great night. This has been Dark Sayings. I'm your host, Pete. And until next time, see you in the shadows.